Hello, my name is Randy, although some of you may know me as the Word Spinner, and I'd like to welcome you to the first part of what I hope will be an informative and entertaining journey with me through my 2011 National Novel Writing Month attempt. Now, most of you probably already know what National Novel Writing Month, NaNoWriMo for short, is, but those of you who don't can consider this first part of the video to be an introduction to the concept. I'll also later go into my personal reasons for participating and also my reasons for creating this video series, so feel free to follow along in that order. National Novel Writing Month is, well, a contest to write a novel in a month. The novel must be 50,000 words or more of fiction. Some people choose to write other stuff, and the month is November. That gives you about 30 days, which breaks down to a bit less than 1,700 words a day. Trust me, you're going to want to keep that figure in mind whenever you start counting, and everybody starts counting. NaNoWriMo was founded about 13 years ago by a gentleman named Chris Beatty, and since then he's spent a lot of time traveling the nation giving pep talks to aspiring writers. And in them he goes into what I find an extraordinarily interesting concept, which is that since childhood, a lot of us have lost touch with the idea of creativity for creativity's sake. When you're a kid, you make stuff all the time because it's fun and interesting, but as you grow older, well, you start to think that maybe you shouldn't make something unless it is going to get you somewhere, present some material gain, or there's a rational reason behind doing it in the first place. Doing things just for fun doesn't seem to make a lot of sense anymore, and I think that we have perhaps lost something important there. NaNoWriMo seeks to bring that back. It's not just personal fulfillment, though, although of course that is a big part of it since there is no overall winner to the National Novel Writing Month contest, except that one guy always writes like 600,000 words each year and makes everyone else look bad. Anyways, that's beside the point. See, there's more to it than just that accomplishing an impossible goal for yourself. There's also an incredible community behind National Novel Writing Month, and that's really what's made it such a huge success. In fact, this year they're anticipating some 250,000 participants, which is just mind-boggling whenever you think that it started with a cafe full of friends just a few years ago. Now, most of that community is online, on the incredibly active, wacky, and entertaining forums on the contest website. But there's also a personal, local, social element to it in what we call write-ins. Now, these are put together by people we call municipal liaisons, or MLs for short. They act as community organizers for National Novel Writing Month, and their main purpose is to go into local businesses, cafes and restaurants, libraries and bookstores, sometimes bars, and set up times whenever the local writers can gather there and hang out, write together, bring in their laptops and notebooks and whatnot, and chat and have a good meal and talk about their difficulties and their successes in the month. And it ends up being an incredible tool for inspiration and a great way to get yourself out of a bad slump. The best MLs can make a fantastic environment that's extraordinarily conducive for success for their members. And that pretty much brings us to me. I started out in National Novel Writing Month in 2004. That was my senior year of high school, and I performed abysmally. I think I might have broken 7,000 words at most, but needless to say, I was nowhere near winning the contest. Then the next year, I went off to college in Boston, but it was pretty much the same story. I did a bit better, and the year after that, I did a little bit better than that, but I still wasn't hitting the 50,000 word mark. In fact, I was a pretty good ways off. But my fourth year participating ended up being my junior year in college. I, for some reason, decided to start going to those crazy-sounding write-ins in my local area. Now, they were being held by two fantastic MLs in the Boston region, Travis and Anna, and if you guys are listening, thank you so much for everything you did for everybody there in Boston. The community really helped get me back on my feet and up and running, and that year was the first year that I actually successfully completed NaNoWriMo. And then, the following year, my senior year of college, I did it again, back to back, 2 years in a row, 100,000 words between them. It's one of my absolute most amazing accomplishments as a human being and as a writer. May not sound like much to you, but for me it was a really fulfilling and frankly beautiful experience. Now the next year I came back down to Tennessee and I got a new job, and I decided that I would try to be a good ML too, so I volunteered for the post. And a combination of stress and bad planning took my feet out from under me again. I failed that year. I didn't let it stop me though. I went right back into it the next year, and that was last year, 2010, and I succeeded again. Now to be fair, I dropped my ML ship, and I'd gotten better at doing my new job, but the idea that I could still do it was there. And that brings us to 2011. I'm going to give it another shot, and I thought, why not share my experience with the wider world in a video series? Let other people in on the novel writing journey, see my planning, see how it works, see the good days and the bad days, maybe even see a write-in or two. That's what this video series is going to focus on. Now, those of you who are astute will probably notice this video is being posted in September. National Novel Writing Month is November. There's something of a space between the two. That's primarily because of the way that I need to write. For me, organization is key. Now, I know there are plenty of people who go into NaNoWriMo with nothing more than a notepad and a pen. No plot, no characters, no nothing. And they come out at the end of the month an amazing success. And I am so happy that that works for them. But for me, writing a novel is a constant process. In my mind, I'm always thinking of conversations between characters, imagining new plot developments, scribbling maps on napkins at a restaurant. And so whenever the time comes around, and it's about a month before NaNoWriMo starts, I'm going to start collecting all of that information, all of that stuff, and organizing it, making it useful to me. So that's what I'm doing now, and my next video is going to focus on the start of that planning process, and you'll see how I go about doing so. For the rest of this video, though, I'd like to give you a quick peek at the NaNoWriMo website. Now, if you visit this in mid-October, it's going to look a little bit different. They're giving it a full revamp for the new year. But if you're coming in before then, it should look very similar to what I'm about to show you. Now, here we have the main page, nanowrimo.org. I'll put the link in the description so you can click on it easily. It's a great source of news and events. It gives you a countdown timer before it starts or a countdown till the end once it's going. But once you get yourself registered, then you can explore the site more fully. But even without that, you can still check out the About section and FAQ if you have any questions that I haven't answered yet. Once you are registered, though, you can set up your profile page, and that'll let other people track your progress and gives you all sorts of new information and nifty little screens. And one of my favorite of which is the Writing Buddies section. If you have friends, either locally or from the internet, and you want to track their progress, well, pop right in and check them out, see how they're doing. Of course, there's also a donations section. NaNoWriMo was run by a non-for-profit organization, the Office of Letters and Light. They are fantastic people who do a lot of great things with education and writing outreach programs across the world. So if you have a little bit extra, please feel free to give them some. Of course, perhaps the most exciting part of the website is certainly the forums, and there are a lot of them for just about every topic that you could possibly imagine. Everything from cover design to technical doodads to help you through your writing. Almost every region in the world has its own subforum run by its MLs and populated with local writers that you can organize write-ins with. There's a reference desk, so almost any weird question you might have about your novel can be answered. If you really do need to know the airspeed velocity of an unladen European swallow, I'm sure there's a guy there who knows it. There are also genre forums and places to complain and places to praise yourself. It's a great place full of wonderful people, so if you're really curious about the NaNoWriMo experience, definitely go check it out. Now, I'm running short on time, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this video off, but like I said earlier, be sure to check out my next video for the planning process, and thank you for watching.